Thank you, lady. You wanted me to, oh, okay. Wait. Ah, all right. All right. Let me see. I do have one thing that came up in discussions with somebody. Where did I put you? Jeff. Do this. So be quiet. Let me see. 160. Morning, guys. Tuesday, Thursday, quiz 9. There it is. I did it. Yay. Problem 1. Well, there was only the problem 1. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you. Now I got it. Now I got it. Okay, so let me share this with you guys. So quick little thing I want to say about the last quiz. So first off, I want to apologize about the Pennsylvania fiasco. So most of you guys understood it. Alaska, obviously the same exact information. It showed up twice. It should have been Pennsylvania down here. So obviously it was a paste and a copy and paste fiasco. So I'm sorry about that. So I said not to do this part, but you still had to do this part. You could still definitely do this part. You just couldn't compare it to Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania wasn't down there, and it was supposed to be. The other thing I want to talk about, the kind of problem that drives me a little insane. So let me ask you this. Now get ready. This is going to sound like it's got no connection to anything. Let's say I'm a veterinarian and somebody brings their dog in and I weigh the dog and the dog is overweight. And I say to the person, why do you think this dog is overweight? And they say to me, because the numbers on the scale were high. Let me say that again. Isn't that kind of silly? If they bring the dog is overweight, and I say, why do you think the dog is overweight? And they say, because the numbers on the scale were high. That doesn't answer my question, right? So this question, why do you think this correlation exists? Don't tell me because the points are close to the line. That doesn't tell me why it exists. You know, so that's more of a just step outside the problem and think about what's going on in the real world, right? It's an outlier. Well, that's not the question I'm talking about right now. Yeah, so Alex, why? So the second part of the question that I haven't gotten to, but I will right now, is why do you think California is an outlier? Outside factors like what? So I just need you to go just a step further, right? Just tell me something in the real world, not just, so when we work with numbers, especially in statistics, but in all mathematics, the numbers don't tell me anything by themselves. I have to put them in some kind of context. Is that all right? So some of you guys, when you go to correct that, you might be like, well, what do you mean? I'm right. The points are close to the line, but that doesn't answer this question. That doesn't answer the question. So I'm just asking you, think about the factors going into this. Why might that exist? Let me see. And no, I am not. I love it. No, nobody said this, but I'm always waiting for my red hat wearing wonders. This is just data. I'm not saying anything. There's multiple ways to interpret this data. It's not a good enough study to say anything specific. So there are multiple possible answers to this part E. Why do you think this correlation exists? Okay, I like it. All right, so now I got another question. Is everybody cool with that about the quiz? So if you go to make corrections and you made a mistake on part E, hopefully you'll see now I need you to talk about the real world, not the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. That doesn't tell me why it exists. Chapter 11, number 71. Let me see. Where are my stuff? Here we go. Do I have the book open? No, of course not. Give me a minute. So chapter 11, so it's going to be, come on, the chi-square stuff. Number 71, is that right? Yeah. So I'm going to say some words now to fill in the time that it's taking me to actually get the book open, and then I can now talk. Okay, here we go. So this one here, where am I at? Ah, okay. I forgot I assigned that. So what do you guys think? If you've read the book, there's another problem that talks about where the mean is located compared to the peak. The peak, the highest point on the graph, represents the what? True, it's the max, I agree, but it represents the mode, right? And this is going back a ways. When you have something that's skewed right, are the mean and the median the same? If it's skewed right. This is from this is from chapter 2. No, there you go, done. So determine whether these are true or false. That was an easy one, it's false. What kind of distribution, there's multiple answers to this, but what kind of distribution would have the mean and the median the same? Normal, I like it. Normal, sure. Anybody know another one? You're like, we don't know, Jeff. No. Uniform, yeah, sweet. All right, I like it. Yeah, so those are the two biggies, and then others might, but anyway, those are the two big ones that definitely have the mean and the median the same. Okay, you're welcome. And as always, I went a little bit beyond, but oh well. Anyone else with a specific question? I mean, today is going to be review day. So before we get into questions, because that's the whole point of today. All right, I'll come back to you, King. I'm sorry. King's like, dude, you just asked for questions. Don't let me forget. I want to show you a few things. I think I showed some of this to you already, but that doesn't stop me. You know that. All right, let me see. Where would you guys go? All right, let me share this. Let me share. Okay. There it is. Yay. Are you guys seeing my canvas? I don't know if I'll ever trust this again. Yes, okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you again. So something that I just added this morning, in fact, about 5 minutes before class started, is right here. You guys all see this? So if you log into Canvas, you'll see my Zoom office hour links for next week. I haven't put all of them in. I can put all of them in. Our final happens on Tuesday, right? But I do actually have office hours on Monday. Now, do you guys understand how office hours work? Do you have to come to office hours? No. If you want to come, do you have to be there at 10? No. Do you have to stay till they end? No. You come in whenever the hell you want to in between 10 and 1. Right at 1 p.m., if nobody's there, I am logging the hell out. You guys understand? So on Monday, I know it's a holiday. I know it. So you don't have to go if you don't want to. It's just there if you, so I am giving you some of my own time. Oh, damn it. You better appreciate it. And then Tuesday is our final. I'm going to be in at 8. 8 a.m. I'm going to be on the Zooms at this link, right? If you click on this, you got all the information, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to be there. I need you to log in by about 9:20 to be on the safe side. All right, now everybody listen, you got to let me know if you have a question about this. If you're a little late, like the final starts at 9:25, if you are a little late, that's most likely okay. If you are more than like 10 minutes late, I'm going to have it locked. It's going to be locked. Why? You're not going to be able to come in because I'm going to make the final active at 9:25. And I don't know if you downloaded it and did interesting things in those 10 minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you will. I'm not saying you did if it happens. I'm just saying I don't know. Does everybody understand? So you're probably going to want to try to log in earlier to make sure you don't run into any technical difficulties. Are you guys with me? Is anybody not with me? Also, to remind you, I need you to have your webcams on or some kind of camera on, right? So I can see what's going on. And I also need that sucker, come on, do it there, like this. So let's say this is my paper. See that? Do you see what my webcam is doing? Let me stop sharing. There, I need it like this. So you're doing work and blah, 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 blah. So I can see if there's too much of this, or I can see if there's any too much of this, right? I don't remember. I don't think any of you had 3 hands. So if I can see 2 hands doing this, I know that sucks. Ooh, I'm a policeman. Ooh, Jeff, this is America, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit, right? So I'm not gonna, there are a few too many of us that are enjoying no eyes from Jeff because some of you guys are cheating the hell up. But not all of you, not all of you. That's not what I just said. Some of you, yes. So I need the final to maintain all of its integrity. Are you guys having fun so far? This is such a fun meeting so far. It's great. Any questions about anything I just said about the final, the office hours next week? Today is our last normal, well, you know, whatever this is normal, our last regular lecture meeting. Next week is finals. Monday's a holiday. All right, any questions about any of that? I don't see, like you said on Tuesday. Yes, that's fine. You can have your tabs for T-chart and chi-square chart, sure, and the normal if you need it. There doesn't need to be any typing, right? I don't want to see any freaking typing. Okay, I like it. And I need to be able to see your hands working away. I like it. So are there ways you can still cheat? Of course. I'm just doing what I can to make the probability of somebody being able to cheat low so that I can feel better about giving final grades. Any other questions about any of that? All right, a couple more things I want to show you. Sorry, King, I'm coming back to your question. All right, I'll get there eventually. A couple more things I want to show you. Just to remind you guys, so there's the office hours, there's the final exam prep. I don't know if any of you guys have seen, I put the videos up of the 2 sides of the practice final. This one's kind of funny because I'm so tired when I did it, but hopefully it all came out okay. Either way, so that's the solutions of the practice final exam. I didn't post like a document solution. So if you want to see the solutions, you can just go into the video and fast forward and just see the solutions. That's fine too. I don't care. The actual practice finals right there. This is the review sheet that I gave out, the like outline of all the ideas. I like it. So just to show you those 2 things. Where are those 2 things? There they are. Yeah. Yeah. So here's that review sheet. It's like an outline of all the ideas from the whole semester. Please ignore this other side. I just decided I was just too lazy to update it. This is obviously from last semester, right? But this side is an outline of all the ideas. So you can use it as a checklist to say, I feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about that. Holy shit, what was that? Let me go see. And then, of course, there's the practice final itself, right? And I think last time we actually did this problem, if I remember correctly. And then the rest of them are on the solution video that I posted. Whoa! All right, so let me come back. Anything about any of that before I come to King's question? Oop, I got one more. No, good Lord, no. If you have corrections to anything that has a link, you know, like you just turn it into the same place. So if you have corrections to section 8.2, you turn the corrections in on top of your 8.2. Oh, yeah, anything else, go ahead and email it to me. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to go in there and create something for everything on Canvas. I'm just not. But if it exists on Canvas, so if you want to turn in quiz 8 corrections, turn them in on top of your quiz 8. Just turn them in the same place. Resubmit, because then I can go back really easily and see the original. Coolness. All right. Let me think. So let me come back to, so the test will be uploaded. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Victor. So I do try to remember to convert things to PDF, and sometimes I just don't remember. The final will definitely be PDF because then that's universal. Everybody is able to open PDF. Adobe is the one thing that definitely is on everybody's computer. How much is the final worth? That for a second, my brain read that before I really read it and thought you're asking like, you know, how much will it take to bribe me? So on the updated syllabus, let's take a look there, everybody. Let's see, where is it? There it is. I can do this. I can do it. I can do it. There it is. All right. So if I look at my announcements, I think this is where I put it. Did I put it here? Shit. I have an updated syllabus. Where did I put the damn thing? Oh, Jeff, you suck. Did I just email it out to you guys? I can't remember what I did. Hold on, let me pull it up. I think I probably just emailed it to you guys. Here we go, syllabus update. Shit. Let's see, here we go. Right, so I think hopefully all you guys have seen this. I'm pretty sure I must have emailed it out. Oh, it'd be so bad if past Jeff did all this work and didn't do anything with it. So here's all the percentages, right? Obviously the test percentage went way down because we lost 2 tests, and the quiz percentage went way up because everything became quizzes, right? And then the final exam percentage, I did boost it up by 5%. Is that okay? You guys see that? Files. Thank you, Laurel. I need to, anyway, it's under files if you go into Canvas. Thank you. Thank you. Unfortunately, when we changed to remote, I didn't know much about Canvas because I was just balking at using it. And now I know a lot more about Canvas, and now I know how to make it more organized. So I do apologize that in the early days of the remoteness, it wasn't very easy to navigate. All right. Anything else before I get back to, now I got to go way back in chat. Any other questions, guys? Here, real quick thing about that question. If it's worth 30%, let's say, how much of a percent of your grade is figured out before you take the final? How much of your grade is, what percentage of your grade is figured out? It's set when you go into the final if the final is worth 30%. 70%. So the final, now some of you guys, this is going to be bad news maybe, but the final can only affect your overall grade so much. It is less than half of what your grade is determined to be before you take it. So it is the highest percentage thing, right? Yeah, I know the quizzes are 50-55, but we had like 9 or 10 of those bad boys, right? So each one is worth 5% maybe. But the final exam by itself can only affect your grade so much, right? So it's, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's the way it is. Okay, so let me come back to King's question. Is there anything else before I do that? Where are you? 11.6, 121, okay. Oh, good, all right, that's the other thing. Thank you, this is awesome. Oh, Jeff. All right, and again, I apologize, but I just was not paying the appropriate amount of attention. If you look at your assignments now, actually, let me do one better. If you look at your modules, look at 11.6. What's it say now? Woohoo! Yeah! All right. What's somebody saying? Extra credit, yes, okay. And of course, why am I making that extra credit? Because we actually didn't cover 11.6. And somewhere in the back of my brain, I thought 11.6 was something else. And then I started looking at somebody's submission. I'm like, holy shit, we didn't do this. So I'm making 11.6 extra credit. If you did 11.6, that must mean you're done and you had some extra time. So what the hell? It's all good. So you do not have to do 11.6 if you do not want to. 11.2 is the goodness of fit, and 11.1 is general things about chi-square. Is that okay with everybody? So for that reason, I'm not going to answer a question, King. But if you email me, I can answer it. Any question you have about 11.6. It's extra credit, so I'm not going to talk about it in the general setting. Okay, so if you want to know how you should study for the final exam, you know the first thing on my mouth is going to be do homework. And then the second thing out of my mouth is going to be look at the practice final, right? And then the third thing out of my mouth is going to be look at that outline of ideas and kind of make it a checklist of things that you really understand and things that you don't understand, that you need more help on. So there are the videos for the final exam, the practice final exam, the solutions. Don't just go there and watch it. It's not a teaching thing. It's a check, right? So if you go and watch it without trying it, you're not going to learn shit. You're just going to sit there and agree with me and not know anything. Okay, so I've been talking a lot, but today is not, I have nothing planned for today. It really depends on what questions you guys have, which is always iffy. We'll see what happens. So you can ask anything from the entire semester. The final's cumulative. We can do examples. We can do specific problems. We can talk about general ideas. I can give more hints about good ways to study. Anything to get you ready for the final. So some of you guys are like, so if I don't ask anything, can I just go back to bed? Well, it's up to you. It's whatever your priority is, right? If nobody has questions, I'm gonna, let's see, can you do and, or, and given? Sure, all right. Let's look at the practice final real quick, and then maybe I'll make another problem up too. Where'd you go, practice final? There you are. Now, where'd you guys go? There you are. So here is the probability part of the practice final right there. And there is a and problem, but there's no or problem. I could make an or problem. We could do this. In fact, I think I will make an or problem just to make it more interesting. All right, get over here. Can you guys see this problem? The 3, 4, 8 green paper and all that kind of stuff. So probability of green and even. So what's the denominator going to be? What's the only problem in these four that are going to have a different denominator than what the other ones would have? All right, let's do this. What's the probability I pick a red piece of paper out of this hat? How many total pieces of paper? Yeah, let's build our way up there. Exactly. Good. There's 6 pieces of paper, and out of those 6, 3 of them are red. And then the same idea with part B, right? There's 6 pieces of paper. Out of those pieces of paper, there's 3 that are odd, that have an odd number. So look at this one. Probability of green and even. Do I know anything about the piece of paper? Do I know something about the paper that was picked? I don't know that, Laurel. What's the only problem in this whole thing that I know something about the paper? Are you looking at part D? Laura, I don't know. I was talking about part C, but look at part D. Do I know something about the paper? Yes, given that it's green. So what's part D? What's the denominator on part D going to be? Yes. Out of those 3 pieces of green paper, so I'm throwing these out. Out of those 3 pieces of green paper, how many are even? Yeah, so that's 2 out of 3. Now, what's different about this problem is that I'm not throwing these out. These are still good because it could be anything. I didn't give you any information. What's the probability that it's green and has an even number. So do I know it's green? No. Do I know it has an even number? No. I want to know the probability it's got those two things. So it's got to meet both requirements. So and reduces probabilities, right? That's the mean bouncer. Or increases probabilities. That's the nice bouncer. So yes, you're right. It's still going to be out of 6 because I wasn't given any information. And out of those 6, 2 are green with even numbers. I like it. And then, of course, you make that 33.33%, blah, 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 blah. Is that all right? So if that's all right, I'm going to make a part E. Let's make a part E problem. Sorry, not a party problem. Don't get too excited. A part E. So part E would be, what's the probability of green or odd? That looks like it says go Rod. My name is Go Rod. So what's probably a green or odd? Yeah, it's still going to be out of 6. I love it. Now be careful. Now, so there's 3 green papers. Okay, so you guys are good. 3 green pieces of paper. And then there are 2 that are odd that I have to include also, right? So if I do 3 green plus 3 odd, that's wrong. Remember, because or you have to subtract off. You don't want to count anything twice. But I don't have to use the frickin' formula. If I could just look, there's 3 green, and then there's 2 more that are odd I haven't counted yet. So of course it's 5 out of 6. I love it. Do you see how the or answer is big and the and answer is smaller? I know they're not the same things, but still, or always makes it more possibilities and makes it less possibilities, because and means you have to match every requirement. Or is you can match any of these things and get in. There's no problem. I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want to do here? I don't know. All right. I like it. That was a good question because it's been a while since we did probability. Oh my God. By the way, have I made this official yet that I will include a formula sheet for you guys? So do not use your own. I did. Okay. You did now. You did now. I like it. Who's Jeff? I am now. All right. That was Mr. Short-Term Memory from Saturday Night Live. It's okay. Anything else we want to focus on? This is really wide open. If nobody's asking a question, it is your floor. You can ask whatever is in your brain. Can you explain what does the p-value mean? I love it. Okay. Look at that. Did you guys just independently ask the same question? I mean, that's I love it. All right, so p-value basically always means the same thing. You have very little specific changes based on the test, right? So like for chi-square, some of you guys are realizing that if you used technology to do a chi-square problem, it could actually give you a p-value, which again, it kind of makes sense. So visually, what does a p-value mean? And let's talk about it in the context of a chi-square problem, just to be really insane. So let's say here's my rejection region chi-square, right? Chi-square rejection. And then I get like chi-square here, chi-square star. Do you want to be crazy? You guys with me? Whoa, what's happening? I got some weird freaking, okay. Some weird little message came. So that's my rejection region and that's my chi-square star. Can somebody tell me where the p-value would be on this picture? Where would the p-value be? And this might be a little evil for me to do. So let's actually, I was kind of hoping somebody remembered what it was in general. So if I have a normal hypothesis test, right? Normal curve, and I've got my rejection region, and here's my z, and then I get my z star. You guys should, more of you should remember this. Where would the p-value be? It's a one-tailed test, nothing weird. Where's the p-value? And King and Ree are like, we don't know. We're asking the damn question. Somebody please tell me you remember this. Yeah, it's the area that the z-star tail is, right? It's the area in the tail that the z-star makes. So it's this area, that's the p-value. So up here, same damn thing. It's the same thing. It's the area in the tail that your chi-square score makes. Same thing. Now, that is possibly unsatisfactory. Unsatisfactory? Yes. But that is technically what it is on a very, very base level. A more technical definition of what the p-value is it is the probability that your null hypothesis is correct, given that you got what you did. Now, there's another way to say that too. It's the probability that you would get a sample where you did if the null was correct. So there are like very small semantic differences there, but still, it's basically the same thing. So when we set up a rejection region, the area is the required probability to show evidence. So the probability that the null is right has to be this tiny to be evidence that it's wrong. Does that make sense? If the probability of something is right gets smaller and smaller and smaller, at some point you're going, it's looking like it's wrong. All right. Does that, so that's the two same answers I told you from the beginning about p-value. It's the area in the tail that's your z-star. Now we know it's the chi-square too. Whatever the statistical analysis we do, it's the area in the tail that that thing makes. And then you got the probability that the null is incorrect, given that we got a sample where we did. Either one of those, it's the same thing. Does that help at all? All right, I'm not, King Ree, is that okay? I will accept either of those answers to that kind of question. They're both equally valid. Just one is more technical. All right, I love it. See, that's the kind of question I love. I love that shit. You know me, I'm gonna ask you conceptual questions like that. Not just cranking numbers out. So this could be very awkward. Me just staring at everybody, but if you don't believe I didn't come with anything, then you're starting to realize he didn't come with anything. This is just like any other, what do you call it? Oh shit. Any other review day. It's really based on what you guys have questions about. Does everybody understand how the final's gonna work? Does everybody understand how next week is gonna work? Right? Does everybody, I don't know, what's the third thing, Jeff? I don't know how it's going to work, how next week is going to work. R tells us about data. Okay. So R, I always ask you two kind of questions when you do an R, when you do a linear correlation problem. Interpret R, and then what does the R tell us about the line of best fit? So just tell me this, what does it mean if R gets closer and closer to 1 or -1? What does that mean? Stronger correlation, I love it. Stronger positive, stronger negative, depending on if it's, you know. The stronger the correlation is, the better the line of best fit fits the data, right? That's basically what it kind of measures. Therefore, in a prediction question, I would trust the line of best fit to make predictions more the closer R is to 1 or -1. In fact, to be really honest, I trust the line of best fit if R is bigger than the value I give you, like the 0.486, R had to be bigger than, remember that? Hopefully you guys remember that. I trust it. But then the closer it gets to 1, I trust it even more. I trust it even more the closer it gets to 1 or -1. And then the interpretation of R is exactly what Laurel just said. So if I got an R of -0.971, what kind of correlation is that? I get an R of -0.971. Strong negative, kick ass. I like it. If I get an R of 0.402, if there is correlation, what kind of correlation would it be? 0.402, weak positive. Okay, then good. So that's what interpret R means. Is it strong or weak? Is it positive or negative? And then when I ask you, what does it tell me about the line of best fit? You can either say, we trust it to make predictions if R is bigger, or you can say, if R is really close to 1, you can say that it means the line is really close to the data points, right? Or the data points are close to the line. Either way you want to look at it, right? You got peanut butter in my chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut. Either way you want to look at it. Is that all right? I mean, those are the two main things I always ask in that part. See, this kicks so much ass. Please, this is what this is all about. Those little things that are like, I never really understood what you wanted from me here. I always get this question wrong. Well, ask me now. How does next week work? Oh, Monday's a holiday, but I do have office hours available from 10 to 1 if you want to attend them. You don't have to. And if you don't have to be there all 3 hours. My God, right? Tuesday is our final. Tuesday morning, I would highly, highly recommend you log in before 9:25 a.m. That's when our final starts. Just a second. And then 8 a.m. on Tuesday, I will be in the Zoom session. I will be there. So you can log in with any last minute questions or whatever. And then once 9:25 hits, I'll make the final exam live on Canvas. You'll go get it. You can print it out if you can. You don't have to print it out. You can do your work on another sheet of paper. No worries. If you are too late, if you are more than maybe about 10 minutes late to the final exam, I will not let you in. You'll have to email me and ask me to consider letting you do a makeup sometime. And if you feel like that's me being mean, fine. Feel like that's me being mean, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway because I am mean. It's time you knew that. Is that all right about next week? Anything else about next week? Today is our last regular lecture. Let's see, Hannah, can you do an example of mutually exclusive? Okay, good. I'm not sure. So what does it mean? Let me answer this question in 2 different ways. What does it mean for 2 things to be mutually exclusive? If I tell you that they can't happen at the same time, I like it. My mullet's coming in nice. Can't happen at the same time. What does that mean about some kind of a probability? Do you know any probability for certain? If A and B are mutually exclusive? No, we don't know shit. If A and B are mutually exclusive, they can't happen at the same time. That's not good enough. What would this be? No, Alex, you're wrong. Be careful. Be careful. Now, Alex brings up a decent point. It gets a little bit messy, but 2 mutually exclusive things are the most dependent things. What? So if I pick something up, so let's say I have a marker and I have an eraser. I have picked one of them up. What's the probability that it's the marker? Do you want me to? Yeah, right? I had a marker and an eraser and I just picked one of them up. 50% chance it's the marker. Given that it's the eraser, what's the probability it's a marker now? Yeah, it totally changed the probability of one of them to 0. It killed it. So let's not get too deep into that. It gets a little bit freakadelic, but I mean, that is the most dependent situation ever. One happening kills the chances of the other one. Of course it does, right? Now, Hannah, I think your question was more like, I mean, so there were problems in the homework where they said A and B are mutually exclusive. The probability of A is 0.7, the probability of B is 0.2. What's the probability of A or B? Right? There were questions like that in the homework. I got my little mini sun. The earth is flat. The sun is close. No, shut up. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a problem exactly like this. They said, these are mutually exclusive. Probability of A is 0.7, probability of B is 0.2. What's probability of A or B? And if you didn't know, so a lot of you guys just skipped over this sentence. If you write this down for yourself and you got the formula, minus the probability of A and B, blah, 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 that's just 0. The probability of A and B is 0. So then you just add those two together. I don't know if that's the kind of problem you're talking about, Hannah. And here's another kind of problem that I kind of like. If I give you a quick little, right? This is yes, no, A, B, whatever the shit. Is anything mutually exclusive up there? There's event A and event B, an event said yes, an event said no. Is there anything that's mutually exclusive up there? That's kind of a hard question, Jeff. I know. So let me ask you like this. What if I put a 0 there? All right. Is there something that's mutually exclusive up there? Ow. Okay, I'm not sure. Laurel, is that, I lost track of the chat. If that's a question, an answer to my question, yes, you're right. Obviously, what's the probability of A and N? 0, right? You guys see what I'm saying? So some questions ask you to calculate like the probability of C and D. If it comes out to be 0, then C and D are mutually exclusive. Okay, all right. I pushed it further than you even wanted, and that's normal for me. I go beyond just answering a question, Jeff. Good luck. Anything else? What do we got here? We got 15 minutes. When you ask what R tells us about the data. So I ask you what R tells you about the line. I might say the data. You would say the data are close to the line if R is like 0.93. If R was 0.4, you'd say the data aren't really close to the line, right? Okay. This is beautiful. Keep it coming. Sweet, that's my favorite phrase in the whole universe that I've come across. Well, let's see, it's definitely up there. Let's see what's up there. I love you, that's way up there. You're gonna get a raise, that's up there. That makes sense, that's definitely up there. I love, those are all good. Anything else? Are you guys doing okay out there? Can you believe? What's really surprising to me is, and you guys are like, it's not surprising to us, we lived through it, but we managed to make it through basically everything, somehow. And you're all like, yeah, man, you just pushed us through everything, oh my God. I was a little worried about making the lecture times only an hour, right? But I thought, you're probably gonna get Zoom fatigue if I try to make it 2 hours, right? With all the other Zoom shit that you gotta deal with. And I thought that by posting other things and other videos and stuff that you guys have other things to go to besides just sitting in a Zoom lecture. So it seems to have worked okay. Next semester, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to make the lectures an hour and 20 minutes or so, maybe at least. So then I can have more breakout room group work, right? I only managed to do that a few times with you guys, but I think it's good for you guys to see each other and talk to each other. So I'm really sorry I did not make that happen more often. I think it's because I made the lectures only an hour. So I'm going to change that for next semester. I can sit here and whistle. Anybody have anything else you want to look at, talk about? If not, it's okay. I don't necessarily want to just sit here and be stared at. All right, let me think. Do I have anything else I want to say here? I think we covered everything. I mean, I'm pretty sure last time I talked about the final, I talked about each of the problems, right? So let me tell you this. So a really good way to study, besides just doing the homework, is to look at the final exam and identify what you feel pretty confident about, and then identify the ones that don't sound like anything. Then you focus on those and you try to figure out what section would that have come from. And if you can't figure it out, you can always ask me. You can send me an email, say, what section did number 3 come from, or whatever. So then you can go to that section and kind of review. And you can look at handouts that I gave out or posted, anything. Does that make sense? I mean, sometimes I feel like, I'm not sure, well, I don't want to say this, it's going to sound mean, but I'm not sure how some of you guys made it this far and you don't know how to study exactly. And that's, I'm really sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, I know that as teachers, we don't focus sometimes enough on correct ways to study. So if you've never shown, how are you supposed to know? That kind of thing, right? Okay, I'm just kind of like filling up the airspace here. Anybody have any other questions or concerns, and it's okay if if I'm answering it for the 5th time, it's okay. And you guys are, is the homework due? But yes, everything that didn't have a due date up in Canvas is due by the final. Yes, it's going to be insane. So what I do, just to let you in on this, well, I'm going to let you in on a couple things. Oh, this is sounding interesting. I don't let homework fail somebody. So if I calculate your average, not including homework, and it's a passing grade, but it would be a failing grade if I included homework, then you pass, right? Because what the homework is supposed, in a perfect world, I would make the homework worth 0. I did that one semester. I think I told you guys that, and nobody did the homework, and they all died on the test because, of course, that's the best way to study for a test. So that's number 1. What was the other thing? I forgot. There was something else I was going to tell you. Shit, you focused too much on that. Well, shit. I forgot. There was something else, ground shaking, I was going to tell you. Is all the homework due by the final? So I don't let homework fail you. And there was something, my brain's going. Like it was going earlier, Jeff. What are you talking about? Anything else, guys? I think there was something else. All right, that's fine. How much can corrections help? Oh, that was the second thing I was going to say. Oh, thank you, Hannah. What I do very often, instead of trying to grade everything I'm going to get on the final, can you guys imagine how much people are going to probably give me on the day of the final? I only actually look at those things if a person's grade is close enough to something else to actually be able to be boosted. So if I grade the final and you have a 72, I don't care how much shit you did, you're not going to get a B minus. You're going to get a, or a C plus. You're going to get a C. Does that make sense? So I'm not even going to look at, and I don't know how you're going to take this, but does it make sense? Why would I look at anything you've given me if you're nowhere near to a different grade? It's not going to help you. If you are close to, like if you get a 77 and you give me a lot of corrections and stuff, maybe you'll get a C plus, maybe even a B minus. So then I will take a look and I'll see if it's enough to push you up to the next level. That is how I manage getting through the stuff. I can't possibly look at all of it. I only look at the ones that actually would help people out. After we finish the final, do we just log off Zoom? So I want you to stay on Zoom. That's a really good question, Emily. I'm going to say that during the final. Because if there's a technical problem, I want to be right there and you can ask me, you can say, whoa, it's not taking it, or holy shit. And then you can just email it to me or something. I mean, I just want to make sure that it gets submitted right then and that there isn't some technical issue and then suddenly you can't get a hold of me and then it's 3 hours later and then I can't count it because it's 3 hours later. Does that make sense? Can we email? Takes me like 10 minutes to submit PDF. So that's what I'm saying. If there is a technical difficult, try Canvas first because that's the easiest way for me to grade stuff. But if Canvas isn't taking it, then you can email it to me. And what I'll probably do is say, so email it to me, Raul, if you have that issue, but then try to keep getting it into Canvas because then I can just compare it to what you email me. It's just so much easier to grade it in Canvas. And that's why some of you guys, you gave me quizzes and stuff and corrections over email. I haven't graded them yet because I'm dreading doing it because it just sucks. It's so much better in Canvas to grade stuff. How are we feeling there? Is that all right? So do we just let you know once we finish the test so we can scan it? Oh, yeah, so when you get done, you can say, I'm done and I'm turning it in right now, and then I can tell you, you know, if it made it to me. That's fine. I'm feeling this out. I've never done this before, so we're going to figure out a lot. I'm going to mute everybody. In fact, I'm going to make it so you can't unmute yourself. So if you do have a question, you're going to have to raise your hand. Can you guys all see where your raise the hand is? Raise your hand if you can find it. Raise your hand. Let me see if everybody's got their hand raised. Look at that. Ooh, kick ass. Is that everybody? No. There we go. More and more. Anybody? See, this is where I can tell who's not really here. Look at this. More hands getting raised. Let's see. Alexia, Angel, both of my angels. Oh, I got one of my angels. Oh, somebody else is is like clapping. That's not really good. So if you can't see, or wait, did you get your, all right, screw it. You can always just chat to me also. So either raise your hand, only get a thumbs up and clapping. Oh, you have to hit participants at the bottom of the screen. Do you see where it says participants? And then you should have a raise your hand option. If you look over at everybody's names, you should have a raise your hand option. Do you guys see that? Somebody's telling me to go faster, and now you guys are getting all excited. I can tell them what to do. I could just ignore you. Go faster, go slower, so I'll just stay in my regular speed. Thank you. No, it's too bad. Yes. Oh, there you go. Everybody's just having fun. All right, I'm going to clear everybody. So you can put your hand up. You can type a question in. You can private message me. Now, you know, I'm going to turn off private messaging between students. Of course I am. But I will let you private message me if you have a question for me. I could pull people into a breakout room and answer a question that way if that's, or you can chat it to me. Is everybody with me? We will figure this out. We will figure this out. My biggest concern is technical difficulties. I'm going to do my best to refresh my damn modem and just do everything I can to make my Wi-Fi strong as all hell, so that it's not me that just messes up everybody's day by getting booted off. So I'm going to do everything I can on my side. All right. Anything else, guys? If anything else comes to your head in the meantime, just email me, shoot me a message on Canvas. No, you don't have to if you don't want to. Whoever said no. No. All right. Is that enough? You guys all right? So you got Monday, you got Tuesday before class. You can go for office hours. You got email, you got Canvas messaging to let me know if there's a problem or if you have a question. It's kind of crazy, the amount of ways you can get in touch with me. All right, I'm not seeing anything else. I might go ahead and shut things down if nobody has. Can you send me my homework grade? Holy shit, I don't have that figured out, King. I don't really look at the homework grade until the day of the final, because that's the first time I get everybody's homework that they're going to turn in. All right. And you should kind of have an idea of what homework you haven't turned in, because either it's on the, I don't know, maybe you don't. I can't remember if I did I do a grade sheet summary for you guys that I handed out before we went remote? I don't remember now. Oh well, I guess I won't ever know. All right, that's enough. I'm gonna close things down. I'll see you guys sometime next week. Let me know if you have questions in the meantime. Oh, how long is the final? 2 hours. Finals are always 2 hours. And Myra, the time for the final is on the homework sheet, and it's up on Canvas. If you look at my office hours stuff up there, it shows you when the final is. You'll see an updated grade, Ree, if your corrections was checked by me. Okay. All right. I am logging out. Oh, like questions, you mean? What do you mean? Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Normally around 25 to 30 questions, like counting A, B, C, D, E. Right? I always hate it when a teacher's like, we have 5 questions and they're all A through J. That ain't 5 questions, buddy. Does that make sense? So it can't be much longer than a normal test, because that first test we only had 2 hours for also, right? So it's going to be about the same length as that first test was. Cool. All right. Now I'm logging out. Goodbye. And Alex will never have his question answered about who's the last to log out, because I'm going to make everybody log out right now. Here we go. Everybody's going to log out. Goodbye.